Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Frankie B, and I am in the art flow. Well, your eyes are not deceiving you. This here is a copy of Robot God Akamatsu, which was created by myself and James Biggie. We created Robot God Akamatsu theoretically back in 2009. Me and James was working at a James was working full time, but I was working as freelance at an ad agency. And I noticed that James was really into Transformers, and so our connection was that we love robots. You know, I love super robots, but also Transformers as well. And we began talking, and I had this funny idea that I shot to him about super robots. I just had this idea. I said, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if there was like this world with super robots, and they had powers, but they were ordinary robots too, and stuff like that, and whatever. And the idea just was so out of the place and whatever. Now at this time, James had been writing a couple, some scripts, and I guess he had written a Batman script. And I remember reading it, and I enjoyed it, but I looked at him and I posed the question. I said, yeah, but I said, you're just writing another script that there's going to be 1,000 other scripts there talking about Batman. Why not write something that you're into? And you're into Transformers, so why not write something that may be in that genre? And so we began going back and forth. I began doing some design stuff, and the ideas started coming. And then I believe it was James who came up with Robot God Akamatsu, like the actual name. That is kind of fuzzy, but I know that Akamatsu was his. Like, he just came out of the blue and said, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. And then I began talking about the ideas of what it would mean, like power hierarchy, where combiner robots are much powerful, and then robots that are much more like, if they're like a Mazinger is much more lower than that, and so on and so forth. So this is the accumulation starting from 2009. We began working on it. It came up to roughly, if we were to put it all together, maybe like 6.5 issues, maybe. I haven't counted these in years, so but it's a lot. It's a lot of pages. We end up getting picked up in 2012 by Zetabella Publishing, and in 2013 the actual book came out, and it's a black and white, and yeah, this is it. And the reason why I'm showing this is because I'm sort of taking you through the little narrative journey. Whereas, and again, sorry, before I'm getting ahead of myself, this is going to be a mashup video. It's going to be me just talking a little bit, but then I'm going to transition over into the hyperlapse, which is me drawing super fast. Not technically drawing super fast, but it's a software. So anyway, the reason why I'm transitioning is because next Thursday, I'm going to be chatting up with Skits Comics, and it is Black History Month, February. The interesting thing about it is that when I've worked on projects, I've never really thought of race as ethnicity as a major thing. I think that's why I always enjoyed doing kaijus and robots and stuff like that, because there's really no ethnicity to them. They're their own thing. And so, but nevertheless, in Robot God Akamatsu, we did have 3 pilots, and one was Asian, one was white, and the other one was a black female, African American female. So my drawings, this was all in pencil. And then also I was in it too. This is me actually as a scientist, Dr. Washington. And so, it was like a part of me. A part of me was also, put into it. Like when I tend to draw, a piece of me, I sort of, think of certain things, and then, little things of me would start edging in there. I am African American, black, and the thing about it is that I've always looked at my art as something that stands in front of me, and then when people see the artwork, then they can, I'll sort of peer from behind the curtain and say, "Ta-da! Here I am." Boom. That kind of mentality. I never wanted my ethnicity to play like a major role over who is looking at my artwork. That was always just a thing that, and I still have that inside of me. I rather, I'm an artist. I went to school to be a commercial illustrator. My art speaks for me. It is my voice. And then, once you see the artwork, then now I can come from behind the curtain and say, all right, cool. What do you think? Or that kind of thing. Or talk about it and discuss it and that fun stuff. So anyway, yeah, this was all black and white and stuff, and it was pretty cool. Actually, this is our character. I can't even remember her name. But with that said, I was posed this little thing that they wanted me to for the chat on this Thursday to submit something that would have an African American character in it. And I was like, well, I haven't. This book came out in 2013, and there's no other follow up to it. And I'm not looking to go backwards. I'm always looking to go forward. So with that said, as you go through it some more, that's a pretty cool scene right there. As we go forward to the present time right now, this is what I'm working on. And I'm working on it with with Matthew Blair, who is a white man. I don't even know what Matthew's ethnic background is. I had never really asked him. But nevertheless, the character B.W.N.N, who's right here. This is actually the book that was part of the that we had for our Kickstarter last year. It's issue 0, which was the only exclusive for the Kickstarter. As you can see, I tend to mark my pages up and do all that fun stuff. But this character right here, let me just fold that so try not to show anything too much. This character right here, B.W.N.N. When I was thinking of B.W.N.N, the first thought was I thought of Jaguar, who was a robot that appeared in Cho movies, with Godzilla and stuff, Godzilla and Megalon. And then the second thought was Clint Eastwood, because I loved a lot of the old school westerns and stuff like that. And we were sort of we had the name Kaijus and Cowboys, but I think that now as we're going into the story, the term cowboy isn't as literal. I mean, he clearly looks like a cowboy with the duster and everything, but as time goes on, hopefully people reading it will get a sense that cowboy is more the terminology of a behavior, that anyone could be a cowboy. A cowboy can be someone who doesn't have to dress up like a cowboy or even look like a cowboy, but they'll do a sort of, have a cowboy kind of mentality about how they handle things. So with that said, when I was drawing B.W.N.N in my initial concept thing, I saw this image of him with his duster and it's just flapping in the wind, and I love that scene. I love the westerns back then. But then I said, I have dreadlocks, so I'm going to put dreadlocks on him. So then I came up with this idea of these cables, and then these cables right here are the way I visualize them. If you saw it, if it was animated, they're constantly moving. Think of like Dr. Octopus's his tentacles. They subtly move. I mean, not all the time, but subtly they move. So there may not even be a wind, but there'll be some slight movements. Kind of unnerving, almost like Medusa. And you got this sort of blank look on his face or whatever. And I love that. And so with dreadlocks. And so after having that question posed about an African American character and stuff like that, at first I thought about it and I was stunned, and I said, look, I draw robots and kaijus. That was my first initial gut reaction. I draw robots and kaijus. They have no ethnicities and stuff like that. But I'll tell you one thing, from that moment, something sparked. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have fun with this. So I'm going to try to do a what if image. And this is where that leads to this. All right, this right here is going to be a piece that I'm going to submit over to Skits Comics once I complete it. And it's a what if story. And I ran the title with Jess a little bit, so it's going to have the Kaijus and Cowboys, and then a tale of two places. And it's kind of funny because I've been doing these series of sketch cards with B.W.N.N, where he's going through these portals and other stuff. I've done it with the Alterna cards. I did one just recently with Kenneth Rocafort art swap with Lobo and B.W.N.N. And so I thought about this idea of maybe this portal where you see it open up, and then you literally see this other place where B.W.N.N comes across his human counterpart. And his name is, Bernard Wynn, but people call him B.W.N.N. So it's Bernard and then W-Y-N-N. And the way I did Bernard is like his features are somewhat like mine, but I would imagine he, again, this is a brand new character concept up. he'd be a mixture of Native American and African American, um, but possibly, a hunter like B.W.N.N. But in the background, he's clearly working with some Buffalo soldiers. And this is just rough stuff. This is not even like an actual story that Matthew and I have talked about or whatever. It's just me just coming up with this brainstorm of trying to look at this character and say that could be a fun little idea right there. So that's what I'm going to be working on. So boom, in a nutshell. I hope at this point I have not talked your ears off. Um, I got really excited about this, to be honest with you. I'm still in the belief system of that that in me that the idea of me drawing my robots and stuff like that, that my images are so far ahead of me, in which people see those and they lock on those, and then they can sort of pan the camera over, and I'm just standing there right there, just looking at them, and then they go, "Oh, okay, he's this, oh, he's black, kind of thing," and then it just gets moved aside, and they go, "Well, yeah, but we like what he's doing," that kind of thing. Instead of me being a black man, and then it's like ahead of my artwork. Those are my own personal beliefs on it. But with that said, it definitely sparked this idea, which you never know. We'll see what the reaction is to this, and my whole point of being an artist has always been that as an artist, we have to push ourselves. We have to try and do as much as we can to really get our voice out there. And you can't be afraid of doing stuff. You can't be afraid of pushing those envelopes just enough, but to be mindful and respectful of people. But also to be like, hey, look, this is my voice, and this is the path that I like, and you're welcome to check it out and stuff like that. And even if you don't agree with it, that's cool. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm sure you're gonna find something that's gonna, get you excited. So with that said, I think I've talked on long enough. I'm going to, let's see where we're at. Oh, we're at 12. So yeah, not too much. The piece right here, let me just go really quick. Probably got 15 minutes. I've already established some crop marks on here. Crop marks are pretty much areas that help show me, once I scan this in, where I can crop the piece in. The piece measures roughly 6.875 by 10.4375. In a nutshell, it's the size of a, let's see, roughly a little bigger than a comic. So when it gets reduced down, it fit right nice in there. So I tend to go full size with it, because it would be like a full size comic thing, or just a nice pen up. But I'm excited, and I think that's the key thing, from certain things, you want to be able to take something and just grow with it. All right, shoot, let me see. Let me just start. I'll start doing a little bit of drawing with it, but I am gonna go right into hyperlapse, because that's why you guys came here, to check out some drawings, right? All right. I'm excited for the this will be my first talking engagement for the new year. I'm expected probably to do a ton more once issue 1 of Kaijus and Cowboys is officially pops up in Diamond Previews. I think that's going to be the thing for many people, is that we actually got picked up by publishers, and the publishers are, they're indie, but they're going the route of LCSs and diamonds. So that's going to be kind of new for me. I'm assuming also, I don't know if they do Amazon or any of that other stuff, but we'll find out. Don't have a release date yet, but one thing I learned, both me and James did when we were doing Robot God Akamatsu, was that it's never too late to start your marketing or whatever, and engaging people and giving people an idea that things are coming. If you look at how films are done, even advertising too, there's always there's these little pre teasers and things that they sort of do, just to sort of gauge how the audience is going to react to something. All right. So you never know. This concept right here, it would be kind of interesting. I mean, it had me intrigued of doing a story where, you know, if B.W.N.N ever did, you know, me and Matthew had talked about the idea of those things of portals and things like that. But again, we don't want portals and stuff to be this kind of easy technique, you know, of, you know, or something. It has to have some kind of, you know, impact if you're gonna go that route. You know, it shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be easy to cross over into other worlds and stuff like that. Not in the universe that we're building. All right. All right. And that same argument can go there too. A community held terrorized by people that are doing thuggish things. I mean, isn't that the same kind of mentality going on there? You know it's the wrong thing, but no one says anything. When I grew up, I remember they had beat cops. All right. Let's see. We're at the 18-minute mark. So I think I'm going to switch on over to hyperlapse. So anyway, as always, keep that art flowing.